Okay, so good morning, everybody. We are going to be learning how to do lettering today in today's class. I am your host and instructor. I do a lot of art classes, and my studio is called Maryam's Art Studio. You can see the little thing here. So I teach in a lot of mediums, and hopefully we'll be covering a lot of mediums and classes during these subsequent classes that we take. So lettering it is for today's class. Now, one must realize that lettering is very different from calligraphy. Calligraphy has some rules that one follows, but lettering is where you can go wild, use your imagination. So I'll just show you a few examples. This is one thing that we had done, I had done for one of my classes. But this is a little complicated for beginners. Like I said, maybe in the subsequent classes, we'll do something this complicated. But for starters, we are going to do something easy like this. So that, so here you can see the difference. Like calligraphy is something like this, which goes with the flow and has a kind of rules to follow. While your lettering is where you can go play around with the size and the shape and the design, like you can see over here, adding dots. Generally, not really following any law at all. You just, so what the first lesson today is going to be understanding alphabets. We'll be doing a lot of alphabets over the period of time. For this, you just need a pencil and an eraser. And I have a few sheets that really help with lettering. They are dotted sheets. If you have dotted or lined sheets, they help with the proper layout. So if you can see, I'll just show you a sample. Like this is one which I had used for my classes. I'll zoom in a bit and you can see that there are tiny dots. What happens when you're doing class, you can use your normal writing copy because that has, lines that will help you put them all. It will not go in one direction, okay? It'll just be in a straight line and you can play around with the size and the shape. So I had done a few of these for my previous class. Let's fold it over so that we get a blank page to work with. So we need a pencil. Now pencil, it can be any pencil. It doesn't have to be very, very HB to be, it can be any pencil. Only thing is requirement is should have a good point because the point will help you in making some crisp lines. Huh? Then you need, I have a thing called a kneader. Sorry. I have a thing called a kneader, which is a kind of an eraser that makes you, that gets kneaded. So you can use this. You can use a normal eraser for erasing the lines. Today's class is only pencil. And subsequently for the next class that you will be doing with me, you will be needing either a fine liner like this or a normal black sketch pen. I have, this is a normal nib black sketch pen. Either ones. You can use a fine liner, you can use a black sketch pen. It doesn't matter. So that you get a nice black and white crisp, right? Okay. So get your pencils, get your erasers out. And let's get started. So in case you're using a blank page with no dots or lines, you can draw a few lines to help yourself so that, your alphabet or your word that you're going to be doing is in a straight line. In case that'll help you. Okay. In case you want to do a line, a drawing on a line, that also will. So I have these papers you get quite easily. They are dotted and they help with your calligraphy, with your doodling. So they are tiny dots that help you in making things go in a straight line, right? So number one, we have to understand that I'll be teaching you capital letters as of now, capital letters, and we'll be making skeletons of those capital letters. And in the sequence of we will be covering A, B, C, D, as many alphabets as we can today. And then we'll be giving you body, the alphabet body. So, for example, I mean, in case you're not very clear as to what I'm saying, say you want to make something like an A. Okay? This is the skeleton of the alphabet. As in, you're not giving any lines, double lines, or any detailing, just the skeleton of the alphabet. Okay? So leave a little space, then make B. Now, B again will be just the skeleton. Then you have leave a little gap, and then you have C. Okay, I will also teach you a few terms that I used, which help in, even when you'll see when you work on the computer, you have sans serif and you have serif. So I'll clear that all out with you. A, B, C, D, and E. These are the 5 alphabets that we'll do first. And they will all be different. And you'll see how we're going to play around with each alphabet. So I'll give you all time to kind of understand how it's supposed to be in a straight line. Okay. Now here, if you can see, it's all on a straight line because the dots are there to help me. You can draw a line on your plain paper, which is the width of, say, about 1.5 inches. The slightly bigger lines will help. Okay. So A, B, C, and D. Okay. So what I'm going to do, this is a plain alphabet. I'll explain first what is a serif and what is a sans serif. Serif is, if you must have seen, there are alphabets that have these lines at the bottom, like this. Like, for example, this is a serif. Here, this would be serif. Wherever it has these lines jutting out. How to make it sans serif would be without these lines. So the B, if it's in this form, it's sans serif. It has no lines jutting out. The A in this form is sans serif. Okay. Erase the extra line. So that would become sans means not having these lines. Okay. So we have these alphabets A, B, C, D. Let's start. The first thing is by giving it a body. Okay. I will be using serifs in this. So I will add the line on top and I'll just zoom in a bit so that you just get to see the alphabet clearly. Okay. And then you have this and you have this. Okay. So this is with the serif. What we have to do, this is the skeleton. Now, when you're giving it a body, you're giving a little, it'll not be so thin. So try and make the weight of the alphabet equal from top to bottom. It should be, you can use the help of a scale if you like. So if you have this side as thick, this side will be slightly thinner. Okay. And then you have so this is the A that we've made. And to help you out, we will, to get a clearer picture of what we've made, we'll just erase the skeleton line in the middle. We will. So my students, when I take these classes, especially if they're school-going children, it really helps them, or even teachers for that matter. It helps them, understand how the alphabets work, and also to make their files and their presentations a little more fun. Writing titles with this kind of thing makes it more interesting rather than just having simple capitals. So we are the sans serif, we're giving a little body to the little line at the bottom. So this is a serif that we're adding. And a little bit here, right? So again, I'll use the eraser and remove everything else. So for my drawing, I will be using a combination of a sketch pen because that is slightly thicker, and I will be using a fine liner. These are called fine liners, okay? They are waterproof. And if you don't have a fine liner, even a normal black pen will work. But this is slightly on the nib is, it comes in different numbers. So you have, this is a 08. You come in 3, it comes in 3, it comes in 01, it comes in 03, 12. It goes all the way up to 12. Okay. So the thickness of the nib increases or decreases with the number. So I will be using my microns and I'll be using the sketch pen. So we've done the first letter. We'll go letter by letter because each letter will be different. And for example, so now how you can practice at home is once we finalize this, then what you do is, because I'll be teaching you a lot of alphabets, a lot of styles. So what you can do is, once you've learned these 5, then you can make similar letters like A, B, C, D in this style. So that it just helps you make it, understand how it works with various letters, this particular style, okay? So we take the sketch pen. We draw an outline. So again, be very careful about how you draw the outline. Take the help of this part of your hand. So when you're drawing a straight line, this should be resting and giving support to your hand. So when you pull it down like this, your line comes absolutely straight. Now, if you're doing it like this, your hand will wobble. Okay, so this part of your hand gives it a very good support, and then you can make a straight line without it going curving up or becoming jagged. Be very slow, very deliberate. Okay. Today we will be just understanding, today's lesson will be just understanding the various alphabets, the form, and how you can play with it. And in the next class, the next day, we will be making a beautiful quote, okay, at the end of it. So here, I'm taking we've made the outline. So now we're going to do, we're going to decorate it with dots. So dots with this, fine dots close together, giving a design is also called stippling, okay? It's again something that you're learning today. So you just add, maybe we can just do it with the sketch pen. It makes it easier and faster for everybody. So you just add dots very close to each other at the base. Bring it all the way till here. Don't make the white part completely disappear. And then as you go up, the dots get scattered. So it gives the impression that it's very dense at the bottom and it gets scattered on top. Yeah. And I might just make them slightly more close to each other at the base so that there's a difference and becomes a little bit more dense and dark. So you can see it going up and you can see the shadow, the details and the dots decreasing as you go up. Okay. So we are done with the first lesson of A. The B is going to be completely different. Okay. Now IB will be very plain with just maybe just a touch of some design. So again, this one I'm going to use the serif. Okay. And always remember that one part of your alphabet is going to be thick. So to give it a nice look, the other part will be thinner. So you first make outline like this. Okay. Then we will give it a little body here and a little body here. So we've got the B. Now B, we're going to give some dots in relief. So what happens is we will just draw some dots. Here. Okay, so we've drawn dots in a line. Now fill in the space with your sketch pen just outside the dots. Just make it black so your dots stand out in white. There you go. Same thing we will do here. We'll just make 3 dots. Okay. This is our second design. Please take your time and finish it. This line over here, this also I would just like to kind of give it a little curve. Make it look a little more neater. Now the next one, I hope everybody's completed the 2 alphabets, A and B, and different designs. Next one will be more like a bubblegum kind of a C. So as in, it'll give a very 3D effect. Very simple to make and fun. So we've already made the outline. So we're just going to be making it slightly more, giving it some body, like I said. So you have your C like this, and we'll leave white so that it gives an impression of, maybe we can just increase this a bit. Yeah. Okay. Now we take the black sketch pen and draw the outline first. Be very, again, like I said, be very slow and deliberate with your outline. In alphabets and lettering and even calligraphy, you don't have to go. Sorry, there was a little glitch. So we've made the outline, and I'll just zoom in a bit so that you have a better picture. So this is the C. Please complete the C. And right? So we've got this outline here. Now we need to make an outline to leave it white, okay? So we draw another line inside. Again, deliberate, slow, so that you get a nice crisp outline like this. So see, you've got a white thing here. Now you need to give a little bit of white in the inside curve, okay? So please, once you draw the outline like this, then draw a second outline inside, second line, and then we take a little bit here and the same thing on this side. So what we've just drawn is going to be left white, okay? With our sketch pen, it'll just pop out for you. Just see how this entire thing will suddenly start giving you a 3D effect. And this is the part that is gleaming or shining, right? So we have the C done in this. So the same thing can apply for the D also. So when you, each alphabet or each style that you're learning from me, you can do an ABCD all the way to Z in the same style. So when you do it in the same thing, wherever there is a curve, and especially on the top part, leave a white like this, and it's easy, okay? It's not going to be a problem. So we have A, B, and C. We start with D. Okay, please take your time and finish this, and then you come on to the next alphabet. So again, this is your skeleton. What we are going to do is draw around that. This just gives the form, okay? And again, this is with a serif, okay? Serif just makes it slightly more artistic. So now what we're going to do is make a little curve in the center. Like your D, this part is the center, okay? So I will just show you what I'm going to do. Take this out. Make a little curve here. This is just different designs I'm teaching you. And then we're going to be using this in our final artwork in the next class. Okay, so you have this here. So the next one is also, don't make it too broad, okay? So we have about maybe a few centimeters inside. Then bring it here. And here again, this will curve like this inside, like this. This will curve outside like this. So let me erase all the extra lines so this drawing becomes a little clearer to you. Right, so you've got a D that has this little pointy design part, which again will have a little star in the center here. Okay, that just elevates the design a bit. So let's take the sketch pen. And start giving the outline. Slow and deliberate. So you have this curving out, this curving out, curving out. Try and keep it in a straight line. I've removed that straight line when I cleaned it, but that's how it's going to be. And then I'm taking my micron because the sketch pen is a little thick. Okay. So I might not get a fine line. So I'm going to draw a line all the way from the top to the bottom, leaving a little white space. Show you a little bit more. See? Okay. Leave a little gap again and just, yeah, so this has gone a little too close to the outline, but it should be equidistant, but doesn't matter. Then let's make a little diamond shape in the center, color it in, diamond shape here, coinciding with that jutting out point. Okay. Then we can add one dot here. Here. So we've got a D that's quite interesting to look at. Okay, please try and complete it. Next, we're going to be making a very simple E. Okay, simple E with a little shadow play to it. Okay. So you have your E. Let's make again with something with a serif. Right. This goes out. So this is our simple E. Now we're just going to thicken the line a bit. Okay. We are going to be making slightly thick line, like a double line of a sketch pen. Not very thick, please. Okay. See how thick it is? It's not too thick, but it's not a single line, as thick as a double line. Try and keep these in a straight line. But then, you know, with your lettering, it really doesn't matter. You don't, it really makes no difference. This can be when you're trying to fit this kind of an alphabet into a word. There are times where this would be thick and this would be thin or small. It That's the fun part about lettering. You can really play with it. It doesn't follow any rule. So if you feel that there's no space for the top part, you can make it smaller. It only thing is it should look like an E. It should not look in like any other alphabet, like an L or something. Just be careful about that. Otherwise, you can play around with the size. You don't really have to worry about it being absolutely perfect. Okay. So we've got the E done like this, like a simple E. And we are going to be playing with our shadow part. I'm just trying to see which of my pens work. All right. Yeah. So shadow, we are going to be giving a little single line. So I'll just see if, yeah. So just a single line like this and goes down. Same thing here. Okay. So simple. And another thing you must remember is if you're kind of giving like an indication of a shadow, if it's at at the lower end, as in a shadow is coming below the alphabet, not above the alphabet. So all your lines will be at the bottom. If you say you were giving that line on top, then all the lines that you're going to be giving as a shadow would be on top. Okay. So you have to remember that if it's coming at the bottom, the shadow will always subsequently in all parts of that alphabet will be at the bottom. Okay. So this is our E. I'll just zoom out Give you a couple of minutes to kind of finish this in case you're still lagging behind. And yeah, so we've done 5 letters. And please finish it quickly. Okay. Now we are going to do another set of 5 alphabets here. So A, B, C, D, E, F. Try and keep it around. So here again, these dots help. So like this, the dots were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have drawn a line that is slightly bigger. So my alphabet will be ending here. Okay. So that's how the lines and the dots help. Okay. And let's make F. So again, a skeleton. Hmm? Then in this, we will also learn in the next second line, we will learn how to make drop shadows. This is an introduction to that, but we will learn a little bit more. Okay, please finish these alphabets. Next, we're going to be learning how to do F. So again, F is going to be not very, I'm not going to be teaching you something that's really complicated. This will be a simple F, okay? So you have the serif. So this is a normal skeleton. We will just thicken. Give this a curve. Okay, so you've got a simple F. You've thickened one part of it. You do not make this entire thing thick. You can, but we will learn about maybe an H where everything is equal. Here, what has happened is you have one that is thick and the rest are thin. In this, if you were going by this rule, this would be thick and then this would be thin. But here, in this, I will teach you how, if they're all equal, okay? How would you decorate it or what would you do? So again, we take the black sketch pen, draw the outline, just the outline. And then this, I'm going to give a very, very simple design, okay? I will first darken this like this, the edges, and then we're just going to give simple line. Make sure that the lines are equidistant. You can use a pencil to draw first and then finalize it with a sketch pen. Okay. So this is a very, very simple F. with no shadow, with nothing, just a simple line that we have finalized it. Okay. I hope the F is clear, and then we will move on to the G. In the G, we will make it slightly more simplified. One second, just let me. Just put it here, finalize your. Right. Here, it'll be with a serif again. Okay. We're just going to give it a little bit more, like this is more rounded. How about we make it a little more boxy? Okay. By boxy, I mean a little more rectangular in shape. So you can play around with it and once you start understanding how things work with this, you can come up with designs of your own. So I'm just going to erase that skeleton. So we've got, so it's more like a C right now. Okay. And then we will just make this go out. Or just a second. I think what I'm going to do is just maybe just give this. Yeah, this looks more neat. Okay. So this is our structure of the G. More boxy, more rectangular in shape. Okay. Let's give a black outline with our trusted sketch pen. Once we finish the G, we will take a little break. And then we'll come back and finish the rest of the alphabets. We're going to work all the way till Z. So in all these various designs, you will finally understand how one plays. So we will, once the G is done, then the next alphabets, I'll teach you, number one, about how the drop shadow falls and how you can incorporate that into your artwork. Okay. So we've got the G here. And what I'm going to do, like we did with E, we made a double line here. I'm just going to make a double line all across so that we have a white line in the center. Again, very, very simple. I'm not teaching you anything that is too complicated. It's easy to make, easy to design. So you've got the double line here. And then once I finish it here, you will see, try and keep it neat. That whole thing gives it, the more neat you are, take your time. There's no rush. It's a recording. It's a live session, which has, the recording for you to come back to again and again. So take your time. You don't have the supplies, get the supplies, and, don't rush. Everything is supposed to be done very, very deliberately. Only then will you understand how neat artwork makes all the difference. So this, we've done nothing except given a thicker line on all sides that just elevates the white line in the center. What you can also do is maybe make dots, but I want to keep it neat. with just a white line. But if you want to elevate your design a bit more or just play around, basically, you can even add dots. This will not have a shadow. In the next class that we meet after this, we will be learning how to give shadow to all these little alphabets. We'll complete it till Z, and then we move on. Okay. All right.